Okay, so have you ever like felt the need to just, like cleanse your space of just like bad vibes?
Mm,
I feel like it's a pretty universal thing.
yeah,
People across cultures and, all throughout history have turned to like different rituals and objects to do just that.
that's right.
And today's deep dive, we're going to be diving into one such tradition, witch bells.
Ooh,
And our source material for this is actually a guide to making these for home protection.
okay.
Full disclosure, I'll admit I'm not like a witchcraft expert or anything,
Okay.
but I am really curious to learn more about this with you.
Awesome.
So, you're listening right now, you might be thinking like witch bells. What are those?
Yeah. They're not like little tiny witches whispering incantations in the
Yeah,
night. Promise.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
So like really what are they and what's the theory behind how these things work?
Well, so think of witch bells as kind of like decorative clusters of bells that you hang up. And the guide claims that they use sound vibrations to kind of like disrupt negative energy and invite in good vibes.
Hmm,
And they create kind of like an energetic boundary.
interesting.
Um, it's similar to how like wind chimes are used in some cultures,
Yeah.
to ward off evil spirits
Yeah.
or attract good luck.
So it's kind of like sonic feng shui.
Ooh, that's an interesting way to put it. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. The idea that sound can influence energy is really ancient, and you find it in a lot of different practices,
Yeah.
like from Tibetan prayer bells to, even like church bells that are used for blessing.
So true.
Yeah.
And this guide we have actually lays out a pretty detailed DIY process.
Right.
And like it gets into all the materials you'd need,
Hmm.
like bells, obviously,
For
string
sure.
a hoop for the base,
Yeah.
and then charms.
All the fun stuff.
And it gets pretty interesting here. They suggest crystals, dried herbs, keys, feathers,
Wow.
even pentacles and runes.
Cool.
Okay, let's say I need some serious protection vibes.
Okay.
What kind of terms would I use?
Well, I mean, black tourmaline is a really popular choice for protection.
Hmm.
It's a grounding stone. A lot of people believe that it repels negativity.
Okay,
It's like a psychic shield.
cool.
Yeah. And then rosemary is often used for cleansing and purification.
Hmm.
Many traditions associate it with clarity and protection.
So I'm picturing like black tourmaline for protection,
Mhm.
rosemary for like a spiritual cleanse.
Yeah.
What about attracting good luck?
Ooh, good luck.
Yeah.
Well, the guide actually mentions keys as a symbol of unlocking opportunities, attracting good fortune, new beginnings. So you
Oh,
could incorporate a small key into your witch bells, and that could invite those things.
interesting. This is making me think of just like how people use objects to feel more secure or hopeful.
Yeah.
But this isn't just about like assembling pretty trinkets.
Right.
Right. The guide stresses that setting a clear intention is key to making witch bells effective.
Oh, absolutely. You're totally right. It's about imbuing the bells with your desires,
Yeah.
whether that's protection, banishing negativity, or attracting something positive.
Right.
And the guide suggests focusing on what you want the bells to do as you make them.
Interesting. So like I'd be tying each bell and charm onto my hoop and actually like speaking my intention out loud.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little well out there?
It might feel unusual at first, but think about like meditation or manifestation techniques.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of practices emphasize focused intention and visualization.
Right.
Even if you're skeptical,
Yeah.
there's something really powerful about just consciously stating your desires.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fascinating how across cultures, people use rituals to connect with their intentions, even if they don't call it magic.
Yeah, I see what you mean. This guide even mentions activating the witch bells
Oh, wow.
with like candle flame smoke or moonlight and like speaking your intentions aloud. It's like a christening for your witch bells.
I love that.
Yeah. It makes me think of things like baptisms or house blessings.
Oh, those are great examples, yeah.
Yeah.
Symbolic actions and rituals are often used to focus energy and intention.
Right.
And, we see this across so many different cultures and beliefs.
Yeah.
It's about creating a moment of significance, imbuing an object or a space with meaning.
So it's not just about the bells themselves.
Right.
It's the act of creation and ritual that amplifies the intention.
Exactly. And speaking of intention,
Yeah.
let's talk about placement. The guide says where you hang your witch bells matters.
Okay, so where's the best spot to hang these bad boys?
Well, for overall protection and cleansing, they suggest the front door.
Okay.
It's like creating a symbolic barrier as you enter your space.
Like a do not disturb sign for negative energy.
Exactly. And that idea of the doorway is like a liminal space, a threshold between the outside world and your personal sanctuary,
Right.
is found in a lot of cultures.
Yeah.
Think about like the ancient Romans placing protective deities at their entrances.
Interesting. So we're tapping into some pretty old instincts here.
Right.
What about other locations? Can I hang them by my bedroom window to say keep the noisy pigeons away?
Well, the guide does mention hanging bells near windows to block negativity.
Okay.
But think of it less about literally stopping pigeons
Right.
and more about creating a sense of peace and tranquility in your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You're setting the intention that you know your personal space is a haven.
I love that. It reminds me of how some people use crystals or essential oils to create a certain mood or feeling in a room.
Exactly. Whether you call it energy work or aromatherapy or simply creating a pleasant atmosphere.
Right.
The underlying principle is similar. We're shaping our environment to influence our well-being.
This is really making me think about how we use objects and rituals to feel more secure or connected to something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah,
Even if someone isn't into the whole magic thing, there are some interesting takeaways here.
absolutely. The witch bells are just one example of how people throughout history have sought to influence their environments and experiences using objects and rituals.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is that it's not just about superstition.
Right.
It taps into our deep-seated psychological need for safety control and meaning-making.
I'm with you there. It's about creating a space that feels safe and positive, whether that's through sound, scent,
Yeah.
or simply arranging your furniture in a way that feels harmonious.
It's all about intentionality
Yeah.
and creating an environment that supports your well-being.
This deep dive has been really enlightening.
Good.
I'm starting to think that witch bells might be worth trying, even just for the fun of it.
I think you should. It could be a fun and creative way to explore these ideas.
Now, for those of you listening, we know this might all sound a bit unconventional,
Sure.
but even if you're not planning to rush out and buy bells and charms, there's something really intriguing to consider here. What personal objects or rituals do you use to create a sense of safety, positivity, or focus in your own life? We all have our little things, right?
You're so right. Whether it's a favorite mug for that morning coffee,
Yeah.
a playlist that gets you in the zone,
Mm-hmm.
or even just a certain way you arrange your desk. We all personalize our environments to create a sense of comfort and control.
For me, it's having fresh flowers in my home.
Oh, nice.
It's not about any mystical properties, but seeing those vibrant colors and smelling that fragrance instantly lifts my mood.
And that's a perfect example of how we intuitively connect with our surroundings
Yeah.
to influence our well-being.
Right.
It's fascinating how those seemingly small things can tap into deeper psychological and even spiritual needs.
It all comes back to intentionality. We might not always call it magic,
Right.
but we're constantly engaging with our environment to create a desired experience.
And that's a powerful realization. The witch bells are just one tool in a vast toolkit of human ingenuity when it comes to shaping our reality.
This brings us to a final, slightly provocative thought. Do these things work because of some inherent magical property? Or is it the power of belief and intention that makes the difference?
Ooh.
It's a fascinating question to ponder, especially when we look at the variety of practices and rituals across different cultures.
Yeah, it's like that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Right.
Maybe the belief itself is the magic ingredient.
That's a really interesting perspective, and it really ties into what we've been discussing about the human desire for agency and meaning making.
Yeah.
You know, we want to believe that we can influence our lives.
Yeah.
And sometimes the act of engaging in a ritual or using a symbolic object gives us that sense of control.
Right.
Even if it's just a placebo effect.
I see what you mean. Even if witch bells don't have like some mystical power to like zap away bad vibes,
Right.
the act of making them, imbuing them with intention and hanging them up
Yeah.
could still have a positive psychological effect.
It's like a physical manifestation of your desire for a safe and positive environment.
Exactly. It's a way of externalizing those desires and making them more tangible.
Right.
And who's to say that the act of focusing your intention and engaging in that creative process doesn't have some kind of ripple effect
Right.
on your mindset and ultimately your experiences?
It makes me think of how athletes have like lucky socks
Yeah.
or musicians have pre-show
Yeah.
rituals.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not about the objects themselves, but like the feeling of confidence and focus they inspire.
That's such a great comparison. It's about creating a sense of preparedness
Yeah.
and aligning yourself mentally with your desired outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's a witch bell or a lucky charm,
Yeah.
having that tangible reminder of your intention,
Right.
it can be incredibly powerful.
So even if we're not like convinced about the literal magic of witch bells,
Sure.
we can appreciate the underlying psychology and the human desire to create a sense of order and meaning in our lives. It's a reminder that we have more agency than we might realize,
Hmm.
and sometimes a little bit of creativity and intention can go a long way.
Absolutely. It's about harnessing the power of our minds and our beliefs to shape our experiences.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe there's more to these ancient practices than we currently understand.
Well, this deep dive has certainly opened my mind to the possibilities. I'm feeling inspired to pay more attention to the little rituals and objects that bring me comfort and focus.
Great.
And hey, maybe I'll even give those witch bells a try. If nothing else, they'll add a touch of whimsy to my home.
I think that's a wonderful takeaway. Embrace the curiosity experiment and see what resonates with you.
Yeah.
After all, life's too short to take ourselves too seriously.
That's a great note to end on. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of witch bells. Whether you're a believer in magic or simply appreciate the symbolism and psychology behind these practices, we encourage you to create a space that feels good to you, a space that reflects your intentions and inspires a sense of well-being. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and maybe even add a little jingle to your life.